Double Talk has been nerfed to 60 damage. That really kills it. That really kills the Double Talk bird. Meta changing buff. It's so great that the meta has changed to a more skill-based game already. And I do think Strawberry Shortcake has a place in the meta now. Okay, we're gonna do a full review on Season 19, alright? A full fucking review. Let's start with our best friends, the Aqua nerfs. Let's start with the Aqua nerfs, alright? Double Anemone, relatively unaffected. The Double Anemone Hairbird build is relatively unaffected. Double Talk has been nerfed to 60 damage. That really kills it. That really kills the Double Talk bird. The Double Talk bird build is kinda nerfed to the ground. Aqua's overall nerf. We'll go through the Aqua nerfs, don't worry about it. Then we're going to Graveland. 40 shield to 30 shield. Okay, this is relatively unaffected. Graveland.
It's just irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Literally unaffected.
I guess they wanted to give the players like a chance to one-shot or deal really high amount of damage against the Graveland plants or whatever they use it. But since they nerfed every damage from, you know, like bugs and Cute Bunny and every like relatives sorts of damage, it is irrelevant because they lost that damage and you lost the shield. But it's the same.
Okay, let's look at the next one. Our best friend, the Grass Snake build. Hate saying this, not hate saying this, but I hate it because it still works. Poison still works. It's still good.
It's still strong. They just made it so that you don't need Bidens on your back in every AXIE in order to be able to counter it.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, they nerfed Garage as well, but that's just gonna make people to switch for Furball or something because Furball now deals like even the same amount of damage that it was. Even if you don't have the extra poison tick, since you're dealing 20 damage, it ends up being pretty much the same if you combine it with Furball because the damage is pretty much the same now.
So the new skill update makes it in a way that, if I'm not wrong, skill adds flat damage. So if the overall damage it adds is like 5 damage, it adds 5 damage to Furball. And that means Furball 48 damage plus 5 times 3. Furball, Twin Tail, these two cards will be super high DPS on a very high skill AXIE.
I was actually, spoiler, I was tinkering with the, with the bumpy Bonesills Cute Bunnies with the mech in the backline with Twin Tail. So you would always have like a way to trigger Cute Bunnies and you will deal a massive amount of damage with it because you have the high skill. So it was working really good. So Twin Tail's definitely really strong now.
Let's go to the next one. Croc. I never even thought Croc was an issue, but I guess Croc does give a lot of utility. The reason for, if you guys are wondering why the Croc nerf, is because of the lagging nerf. The devs realized that slow is a very, very strong buff. So anything that has slow in it kind of needed to be tweaked down a bit, in my opinion.
I mean, 5 damage is not even that much if you consider the skill changes. You pretty much deal the same damage still, so I don't think it really matters that much.
Exactly, it balances off.
Yeah, and aside from the slow, I just think they target those because a lot of people like in mid ranks and that stuff just overuse the Bifinators and Terminators. So they wanted to add like more variants instead of always just playing the same axis everyone. So by like sort of downing their power, now people can opt for other strategies aside from just running the same combinations where you just get Croc, you get Lagging or Kaku, and you get Chomp and Thorny, or now you get Hair. So now what decreasing the damage and the utility of all those cards, people can just start trying other cards in those parts instead of just getting the same over and over again.
Yeah, and I feel everything is much more balanced now. I think most people are wondering about the Bifinator build.
If we analyze every card on its own, it's like it doesn't look that much. But if we combine the strength of the whole cards as like a kit we used to see, which when you combo your Thorny with your Croc and Chomp and let's say Lagging, now you're dealing like 30 less damage base plus the skill damage you're missing. So it's like a soft hit to those builds.
It does affect the Bifinator quite a bit in terms of damage output, but before that I felt the Bifinator's strength I honestly feel is shielding that he can put up. Now though they did nerf Kaku, but the relatively shooting of the Bifinator is still very high. And in terms of the damage, I felt the damage output in the previous season was too much. In this season, it feels right. Is the Bifinator nerfed to the ground? No. It's relatively unaffected. It's still a very strong AXIE.
Sorts of gives you another turn to fight back instead of just getting two shot. You just died in 2 rounds. So now let's say you have an extra round to fight back so that you don't just get insta burst every time with it, because now it deals way less damage. Not that much to be like a dead AXIE, but enough to make it like fair to fight against it. I think they're just hitting the strategies where you just let your midliner die so that you just throw 4 cards with your backliner twice. Because they nerfed everything that did that much damage. Like, we'll see that with the Aquas, right? That they remove 5 damage almost from every card, and they change the skill. So it's pretty much, the meta will shape pretty much towards that, where it's no longer where your backliner can 1v2 just because you were like, oh, my backliner is just like the best 1v1er in the game, so I can 1v2 because I have enough energy, and my opponent has to when I have like 6.
It's just so great that the meta has changed to a more skill-based game already because of the crit changes as well. We'll talk about the crit changes after this. Okay, let's look at the next cards that have been nerfed. Risky Fish and Shoal. No one saw this coming. Risky Fish and Shoal. But I do understand why it was nerfed. Risky Fish, Shoal was collateral damage because of 2 very, very popular builds played by the top, which is the double talk build that usually runs the Aqua of the double talk that runs Shoal and just kills you off without giving you a chance to win. Another one is the Risky Fish as well. Double talk Risky Fish. Also Risky Fish into Ronin combo, Risky Fish into Risky Fish combo. The deaths I probably felt it was too much damage, so they tuned down Risky Fish damage and they tuned down Shoal damage because of those builds.
I also think they did nerf Shoal because they did some morale changes because they pretty much want Beast to be relevant, because they even like changed a bit some of their cards that had shield that were not that great, and because if you realize, every damage card from the Aquas were nerfed. So I'm pretty sure a Beast just doesn't die from 3 cards as it used before. So by nerfing Shoal, they still get some utility out of the morale. So they kind of want, it's like a sort of like adjustments for Beasts as well, and maybe even bugs. It's 5 damage, but it matters when you take the skill into account.
The next one that we're going to look up is probably Tiny Turtle. Might as well let's just go full on the Terminator build, right? Because that's what is really nerfing. So Tiny Turtle, Lagging, and Tawny Caterpillar. These 3 cards has been nerfed. Do you feel Terminators are dead?
No, they're still really strong. They just, as I said, it's pretty much the same case with the Bifinator. They pretty much just want to give you a chance to fight back because you don't get one shot. But what makes it strong has always been the fact that he can double stun you. And if you're low on resources, you're pretty much just going to lose the game. But now because you deal less damage, you can just try to skip a round to gather energy to try to fight back instead of just losing if you skip the round.
Yeah, Terminators I feel are just very, very solid still. But from what the Terminators that I fought, they feel relatively unchanged. Yes, I do feel the damage. Actually, no, I honestly don't feel the damage nerfed too hard. I still feel the damage is still there from the Terminators. So I think the Bifinator and the Terminators are balanced. In terms of Tiny Turtle, I still think it's a very cool, very good card and everything because of the stun. Stun utility is so good. Terminators do need to play differently right now because now since Tiny Turtle does 75 damage, it does not break your shield if you have a snail shell lagging allergic combo to try to break the shield early. No matter what, Tiny Turtle will just go through your shield right now. So Terminator players, keep that in mind. You kind of need to play it in a very different way. So let's move on to the next one. Yam, nothing to talk about it. Relatively unchanged. Still very good. Yeah. The meta would be playing Yam with discard teams. Because discard teams kind of make the enemy like, oh no, I have to play cards. And then Yam forces them to hit into you and get punished by it. So let's move on to the next one. Garage Worm. Our favorite card last season was overplayed like shit. 150 to 90-40. What do you think about this change?
I think it's fair because, yeah, the 100 damage when you play, since they buffed bugs a lot, I guess they sort of adjusted it so that they don't over shield and over deal damage now. Also, like, the card was being abused as hell. So
Like hell,
I think it seems fair to me now, because if they nerf the poison stacks, the card will be really bad. So I feel like this was a nice adjustment. They didn't make it useless where it doesn't add enough shield or enough damage. They just toned it down a bit, so I think it's still playable.
Now Garage Worm, I feel is balanced. It's still a very good card. Then our next favorite change, Cute Bunny. 120 to 30 to 135. More shield, less damage. Honestly, I said it before. If Cute Bunny has the 2 fear stacks remaining, it's still a very solid card. And I played the Cute Bunny, still very good. You can feel the damage difference definitely. Things that you usually would have killed, you kind of felt like, oh wait, if only I had the previous Cute Bunny damage.
Yeah,
but it's still good.
With the skill changes also, like where you used to do like 146 damage, now you do like 100 and or even 118 depending on the AXIE.
Yeah.
So I mean, they made it, I feel like the card, it's still really good, but it's not as abusable as before, where everyone could just throw in your Cute Bunnies at your plant and you couldn't play your frontliner because it will either die or just waste the cards. But now you can sort of tank more hits and still be able to play your frontliner, but it is not as oppressive as it was before, but it is definitely strong still. Pretty much just made Cattle a stronger card because you can resist more damage and you're going to draw cards anyway. Right now, if they throw you, let's say, Antenna Cute Bunny, in the past, your plant will be like, oh shit, it's fucked. No, it's doomed. I can't even play it anymore. But now, if you play a Cattle, I mean, they have to think that you're not going to be in killing range of just 2 Cute Bunnies next round. You can survive like the 2 Cute Bunnies. So if they're giving resources, you can even shield again or even play your plant because you know, like, you'll have more resources and stuff like that. It just gets you out of like the killing range now, and giving you resources is way more dangerous than before because you're gonna lack more damage to kill.
I felt the Cute Bunny damage nerf was needed. It was definitely a needed one. I do agree with the changes of the Cute Bunny, but whether it's a bad card right now, no. Cute Bunny is still a very good card. Still works and still very good. The next one we're going to talk about is Goldfish. Why the hell did they nerf Goldfish? This one I'm confused. I think it's because the Goldfish buff was too good. The speed plus, and a lot of people were playing the Nemo, Goldfish, Antenna, Cute Bunny comp, and was blowing up teams like that. So I think that's why the devs nerfed Goldfish, because it was too good for you to have such utility.
My reasoning on all those 5 damage decrease, it's still the same, where they didn't want your Aquas to just 3-shot the bugs or beast, because they did 128 by itself, I think, and 100 and I forgot how much it. I think it did 100. Yeah. So now it deals less, which means you can potentially survive.
I think the nerfs on the Aqua cards is more because of skill changes.
Yeah, because if you take an account that you're playing 3 or 4 cards, you're dealing like 10 less damage, which is actually irrelevant.
Because if they didn't nerf the cards like Swift Escape is 110, right? If it remained at 110, with the new skill changes, the skill damage bonus, Swift Escape actually does even more damage. It does like 150 damage. I mean, Heroes Blade will do 160. They had to nerf down Swift Escape so that the skill damage buffs balances off the damage.
If you're taking an account that you're throwing 4 cards and you're dealing like 10 to 12 less damage, it does matter sometimes because of the shieldings. Okay, let's say I played a Goldfish, right? And you just threw your cards and didn't speed up. I survived, and now I can just throw cards. So it pretty much keeps like a fight back chance in a way, but not like super strong one where you feel like you lack a lot of damage. Just like toned down a bit. That's how I feel it is.
I do feel the utility of Goldfish kinda is so good that the damage nerf is not really too bad on it. Because Goldfish makes you so fast the next turn that you just blow up the next turn. The inherent problem with Aquas, it literally just blows up people. You guys think that this is a very nerf to Aquas, but it's not a nerf to Aquas. The thing is, this build here, Nemo, Goldfish, Showstar, Risky Fish, is a bad build in the first place. It has never been a good build.
Those that still have like beast parts are still really strong because they still have the skill bonus damage on themselves. Correct. So it's not that huge.
And the Risky Fish buff is still good. 105, I don't feel the don't feel the damage. Goldfish utility still is good. Oranda is unnerfed, which means it's still very strong. Piranha is still unnerfed. Blue Moon is still unnerfed. So these 3 cards are still very, very strong cards. At the end of the day, the Goldfish build, unchanged. Relatively unchanged. It still works the same way it works before in Season 18. Where you speed up what you... First turn, you spend it speeding up. Next turn, you blow up the guy. Okay, let's look at the next one. We talked about post-fight. Post-fight, 110 damage, warranted. I think it needs to be 110 damage. It makes the card feel better as a 0 cost.
I think that now you can shield against the backdoor birds that just have post-fight and deal like just instantly bursted you. Also because they changed the skill, so I think it is fair that they don't just blow you up. Now you can, even if you have an Aqua, you can just try to shield instead of just like, oh, they round 1 Dark with me, I am just dead, even if I play the 1 card with 30 shield or 2. So I think it is fine that way. 120 was way too abusive, but the problem is that they nerfed double talk as well. So they pretty much they
destroy the build.
Yeah, they destroyed that build. That's why people feels like it's a really hard like nerf. But I think it was necessary.
Okay, so let's move on to Kaku. Warranted. Nothing much to talk about it. Still a very good card. Kaku is still very good.
Yeah.
The 40 to 30 shield, doesn't really do much for us. 10 shield, though it is a good amount of shield because, but the utility of Kaku and how Kaku is used is still a very good card. How you shake off stuns and everything. Nemo was doing a lot of damage before. 30 damage was a bit too much.
Yeah, so, tell that to bugs and beasts, 40 damage for 0 cost.
Yeah, so Nemo hurt like crazy and he gained the energy. So Nemo needed the debuff, but still very good. Still a very good card. Kaku and Nemo still works and still very good, yeah. So the next one we're going to talk about is Dual Blade changes. Deals 200% on critical strike. This is just cause of the morale changes. So Dual Blade hurts like shit still. It's still the most painful card in the game is still Dual Blade. It still has the crown title. Is it bad? Nope. Still works. Still great. Relatively unaffected Dual Blade.
It just had to be adjusted with the changes.
Morale changes kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it pretty much works the same, but they had to make that adjustment.
So let's move on to the juicy buffs. So on the buff side, Razorbyte, they really hate Aquas this season. Honestly, they really hate Aquas this season. But then again, Razorbyte wasn't a very, very good card in general, but now it has the stats. It has the stats to just make it a very, very strong Aqua killer. And even if you're not fighting Aquas, it's still a very solid card right now, Razorbyte.
I don't think it's going to matter that much because, I mean, if they nerf I don't see a reason of why would I just play Razorbyte, that is only good against something, instead of playing as, Zigzag.
The damage values. It really is going to be bringing up a very, very cool... Because if you think about mouth cards right now, Tiny Turtle was the one that had the control over mouth cards. It has very good shielding, very good damage. Since now Tiny Turtle has been nerfed a bit, Cute Bunny has been nerfed a bit, AXIE Kiss has been indirectly nerfed because of the morale changes. Even though you have confirmed the crit, you don't do as much damage. Razorbyte has just been balanced to the fact where it's like contending with a lot of cards already. So if there is an Aqua meta, Razorbyte works very well against them as well.
Yeah, if we're talking about healing mounts, I still feel like I will still rate Razorbyte like as the last, Zigzag as the best one, and then Vegan Diet second, and then Mosquito third, and Razorbyte. I still feel like I'm not saying it's a bad card, but personally, I just don't like cards that are only good against something. It's good, for like meta calls, for last pushes or even tournaments, but like in general, I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference unless we get into like the more competitive or last pushing in the season where everyone's playing Aquas.
So Cottontail, very, very solid card right now. Because of the shield buff. 30 shield is no joke. 30 shock is pretty good. I like Cottontail buff.
Yeah, it has the same stats as Kaku now, so I do like it as well.
It's like a Nemo. But for shield. Fish snack. This buff is too good.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best buffs they made.
Yep. We didn't even need a 10 extra shield.
Yeah.
The fish snack 10 extra shield is just too good. Yeah.
I mean, they nerfed every Aqua card damage, most of them, and they gave 10 extra shield to bugs. So I think it's definitely good. Also with the skill changes, that 10 damage can like remember what we talked about, the last like 8 or 10 damage because of skills. Now you get that added to the shield, so it's even more relevant.
Yeah. And the thing is, they might have nerfed damage or some armor values of some of the bug cuts. Fish snack, like Garage Worm, the Garage Worm build with Fish snack, they have nerfed 10 shield from Garage Worm, but they added 10 to Fish snack, which makes the shielding still the same. Which is still shows that the Garage Worm just has a 10 damage decrease, but the poison is still going to add up and still a very, very strong build at the end of the day. Let's go on to Timber. Timber 8080 is same with Bone Sail now. It just gives more damage. I think it's just a doesn't change anything buff. I'll put it as a, it's good, but it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I do like it, but yeah, if it's the same as Bone Sail, I would rather have the Bone Sail to draw cards.
Exactly.
Unless the meta is like a heavy plant, where I would sort of want it, even in an Aqua body, because I know you compare it with Risky Fish, and you deal more damage and you shield more, and now they can't kill you with 2 cactus. So, I mean, it's not a really huge change, but it's like I mean, decent enough to like sort of have it played.
It allows you to fight against plant teams now.
Yeah.
Next buff is Mosquito. This buff is too good.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Mosquito buff is at what, 70-40 to 80-40? Now it's rivaling Zigzag. Actually, it's same with Zigzag now. Because it's 60-60 base type on Zigzag, now it's 80-40.
But you have to be more afraid of a mosquito crit on a bug than a zigzag crit on a plant now.
So right now, Immortal Bug is a thing.
Yeah.
And how Immortal Bug will probably work is Mosquito, Bone Sail, Keratin, Overgrown Keratin, Nemo on a bug.
I mean,
Pupa.
You could even run Cottontail if you want more shield.
Yeah, you can run Cottontail as well.
Yeah.
You know what? You can run Cottontail as well. I think that's a better one. Cottontail, Bone Sail, Overgrown Keratin, Mosquito. You are an undying bot. So, okay, next one is Buzz. Too good. This buff makes Buzz so good. Because now Buzz does 110, 40 shield, which makes it 150 base attack. Plus, it minus your attack. And attack minus is a lot. It really affects a lot. Yeah, it makes you even more tankier.
I just feel like Buzz was okay before, but I mean, why would I play Buzz when I can just play Garage that had better stats? But now that Garage has been nerfed, that Buzz can actually shine because it has utility. Yeah,
it has utility and a good amount of damage that we had last time as well. Let's see what's next. Mary, there we go. Mary, they changed how Mary works, right?
Watching right now, it just says at 20% shield to this AXIE when played in a chain.
So basically, you just play with another beast card. You play with another beast card, and then you get your 20% shield. 75 plus 85, 90 plus 70, that's 160. That's in line with Bone Sail. It's like a Bone Sail, but has more shield. This is the shield meta. This season is the shoot meta season. So let's go to Pupa. Pupa is insane now. What the hell? Pupa is just outright insanity, right? 0 cost, 70 damage. Are they even thinking on this buff? Oh my god.
I think they were just like, hey, no one's playing this card. What should we do? I'll just add some damage to it.
Yeah.
What, like 10? Yeah, add 10 to it. It doesn't matter. People doesn't play it.
Devs, if any of the devs are watching, the reason why Pupa wasn't played much it's because Pupa is ugly as shit. That's why it wasn't played much. But it was a good card. 60 damage Pupa on a bug was a very, very solid card. Of course, he has a lot of better tails out there, but Pupa being at 0 cost at 70 damage now is just so much. Imagine playing a 0 cost and doing as much damage as a freaking tiny turtle. That's just nonsense.
I was actually playing the floor team challenge today, and I had a mid dusk with Pupa, and I did 161 damage with it when I was in last stand.
Yeah, 161 Pupa 0 cost.
For 0, yeah, for 0. Yeah. I was like, okay.
And if you're on a bug,
yeah,
and bugs is like
it's even
so
worse.
much. Yeah, it's Tri-Feather. Tri-Feather is also very strong now.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a new post fight, honestly.
Yep. So let's move on to the next one, which is Rosebud. Rosebud, 0 to 40 to 0 and 50. What do you think about this change?
I don't think it's gonna be relevant enough.
I think Rosebud buff doesn't really change anything. Twintail, 40 damage. What is going on with the bugs? Holy shit, right?
I'm telling you, they were like, let's make bugs great again.
Yeah.
And buff shields, make them deal more damage, and change the skill so that they deal even more damage with Twintail, because it's not 80 damage, it's 40 plus the space. It depends of the skill.
Uncle doesn't change anything buff. No, you know what? I think Uncle is a good buff here. I'll put Uncle as a good buff. The shield really matters a lot. And it's playable now. It's a lot more playable. With the 100 shield, it really adds a lot of shield. I think Uncle might be something that I could theory craft.
Yeah. Yes, okay, we're heading into heavy shielding, so if they can't predict which one you're hitting, you can just poop them and then slay the one without shield.
Okay, let's look at the next one. Is Red Year. Oh, I fought a Red Year. I could not kill him.
Yeah, it's a lot of shield. I like it. Maybe we'll see more of it in tanks. It's just that there's just a lot of shielding now.
Yeah. Imp. Imp is a good buff as well. It's less... Rim beasts were very bad. Imp, the extra 80...
Exactly.
Yeah, the extra 80 really does matter a lot. Yeah.
Also, the crits on Imp hurt a lot. And also, like, I mean, a Ramp now can shield for like 90.
Yeah.
And deal a lot of damage.
And
so they can just tank the 3 cards, yeah.
Okay, let's go on to Kotaro. Doesn't change anything, but it's good. It's better, but it doesn't change anything.
I mean, if we're in shielding meta, like, you know, Kotaro's not really going to try that much.
Jaguar doesn't really matter too much as well. It just puts it in line with other cards. There's still better back cards. Risky Beast is still better in my opinion. Cactus. This buff too good. Not even asking for it, but too good.
Best
Cactus.
buff that no one thought it was necessary. Yeah.
Ronin doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, it's pretty much the morale change. It's what shaped Ronin instead of Ronin changing itself.
Scaly Spear. Scaly Spear stacked.
I don't think it changes much. Oh, never mind. No. It's Scaly Spear. Yeah. That was Scaly Spoon. Yeah.
Scaly Spear is the only other card other than Bone Sail, but this is the DPS version that has 160 base stats. Plus, it has a buff to really buff Scaly Spear up to even higher DPS. So Scaly Spear is, even though I don't think the way Scaly Spear is played is not the easiest because you have to combo with another Scaly Spear or another lunge card, but I think this buff is in the vicinity of kinda very good. But we need to test it around.
I think the same. I will have to like check the damages with the skills and everything to see like the potential damage. But I think it's good. I mean the stats are way too good. It's 160. You know, it's way too good.
Wall Gecko, 20 shield. Doesn't change anything buff.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same card.
Meta changing buff goes to Scarab.
Yeah,
Scarab is a meta changing
really
buff. Yeah,
it is really good.
It's just too insane. Yeah,
plants, bugs. I think anybody can actually run it now because of the change. Because in the past it wasn't that awesome, unless you were like aiming for immortal plants. But if you wanted that, I mean, you could just have a hotbot plant or like you know, a Graveland. But now you can fight an Anemone's back and it's still the immortal plants who are dealing damage. So I think it's going to change the meta a lot.
So next one is Scaly Spoon. Ant.
It's pretty much the same as Onko, I guess.
I think I'll put Scaly Spoon because Scaly Spoon is a good card in general, and if you buff it, it's pretty much a good buff already. It's a good buff, and it's also a good buff now. So let's do our favorite card right now. Strawberry Shortcake, 40 shield. The buff that we didn't ask for, but thank you so much. I don't want to claim ownership, but I felt we had a part to play with the 40 shield Strawberry Shortcake. Because when we played and we got Strawberry Shortcake out there, we were talking about 40 shield on Strawberry Shortcake would make sense. And the devs listened, I guess. I think the devs were watching. I really feel the devs were watching our matches with Strawberry Shortcake. And I do think Strawberry Shortcake has a place in the meta now. Okay, so crit percent chance is still based on your morale. The formula for the crit chance is not, but the crit damage is the one that changed, which is a very good change. This means Ronin is debuffed. Ronin does not work on majority of AXIEs with low crit rate, like Aqua Ronins. Anything with low crit rate does not work unless you kind of like make a monster Aqua with a lot of beast cards. A beast Aqua, something like that. Then it might work. Double Talk nerfed. And with the Double Talk nerf, there's no more armor piercing builds that really work in this meta, which means it brings into the shield meta. On top of that being the shield meta is that it has so much cards that has their shield buff. It seems that the devs really want it to be a shield meta and they didn't enjoy the armor piercing meta. So with the shield buffs and no more armor piercing Double Talk in the meta, we are brought to a shield meta, which means what is very, very strong against a shield meta? Buzzing Wind. It's called Spiky Wing. Applies fragile to a target until next round. This means their shield will be shredded within a second. There is literally no shield for them anymore. So we are probably going to be seeing a Spiky Wing meta this season. Spiky Wing is going to be a very, very strong card. Since we have a lot of shielding, heal meta. Heal meta is changed already. Scarab is going to be bred a lot more. Double Anemone Bird is hard nerfed. I did say the Double Anemone Bird is relatively unaffected, but as more Scarab comes into meta, the Double Anemone Bird is going to be gone. Zigzag Immortal Plants are going to be nerfed because of the Scarab updates as well. Immortal Plants are nerfed, Double Anemone Hairbirds are nerfed as well. So Bug is going to be very, very strong in this meta. So basically, I think this meta currently right now is just very balanced. There isn't like two crazy builds that are just like overpowered right now. But we're still very, very early in the meta and we're still figuring out what is good and what is bad. So don't get too bullish on the build at the moment. Do test around a lot of things and wait a while and maybe see how the meta develops and maybe pick up something that you feel is your playstyle kind of thing. I just want to thank LJcobs for joining me in this discussion on the meta updates. Do check him out in the description below, twitch.tv LJcobs as well. And if you stayed through the whole video, thank you so much for watching the whole video. I appreciate it. Do drop a like and subscribe and a comment. It does help the algorithm a lot. I really appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.